Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihi amma ba'du. I greet the Mali students, the Mali guests, listeners. Assalamu alaikum wa Ramadan Mubarak. Welcome to our Ramadan morning session. We have been conducting throughout the month of Ramadan, this ritual month of Ramadan. Today we're going to be looking at chapter 2, verse 41. 2:41. And we're looking at the al-Ma'ani. 2:41 al-Ma'ani. Ilm al-Ma'ani is the science of semantics. So the science of semantics. And continuing with the theme of this portion of the theme dealing with Bani Israel. The overall theme is continuing from the concept of Khalifa. The concept of Khalifa. So let's go ahead and get started. We put ilmu Ma'ani. The three branches of Balagha, we have Ilmul Ma'ani, Ilmul Bayan, and Ilmul Badi'. During this Ramadan period, we have been looking at Ilmul Ma'ani and Ilmul Bayan. As we began to get comfortable with these two sciences, and then we will insert Ilmul Badi'. Those are the three sciences. This is a very advanced study of the language, studying the language of the Qur'an, the Quranic Arabic language, the highest form, the best form, the greatest form, the most eloquent form of a composition, a written composition that you can find throughout the world. It rivals any other language, even Arabic language itself, to bring something better, written better, expressed better, with such beauty and eloquence. This is what we're studying, the Qur'an, as guidance for all of humanity. Ilmul Ma'ani. So let us get started. We're looking at the verse 41, 2:41. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wa'aminu. Wa'aminu. You see the kasra here? That's going to be the command. Amanu, with a fatha, it would be the past tense. Aminu, you masculine plural. Believe, trust. Bima anzalatu. In what? Anzalatu, I sent. Musaddiqan, confirming. Confirming. I sent, confirming. Lima, to what? Ma'akum is with you. Still addressing Bani Israel. What is with you? Wala, and do not takunu be. أول كافر به, the first of disbelievers in it. ولا, and do not تشتروا, do not transact. I'm going to say transact. We're going to get to this. بآياتي, my signs, ثمنا قليلا, as a small price. Do not take my signs as a medium of exchange, as a small price. We'll have the explanation of this. وَإِيَّايَ, and to me and me only, and me only, فَاتَّقُونِي, be conscious. Be conscious in terms of protect and preserve your soul from injury and harm. Be conscious that you protect your soul from injury and harm of me. And this is a continuation from the verse 40. Ya bani Israel, udhkuru ni'matiya allati an'amtu alaykum wa awfu bi ahdi ufi bi ahdikum wa iyaya farhabuni. I put this here because it will be in the discussion. Ilmul Ma'ani. The overall sentence type and address. The overall sentence type and address. The clause is dominantly command and prohibitive. This verse. So it falls under Ilmul Ma'ani category of al-insha'u at-talabi, an expression we have had now quite a few times. Al-insha'u at-talabi is requestive speech. Two types of speech we have been discussing. One is talabi, requestive, and the other one is al-khabaru, informative. Requestive and informative. This verse is more or less requestive speech. The omitted vocative, O children of Israel, is omitted from the previous verse, continues here. So it's continuing. This verse is continuing to address the children of Israel. So the verse in a continuation of an-nida'u, vocative, keeping them psychologically present as direct addressees, the children of Israel. We're still addressing them. So now, in the first, let's go back. We have to take a look at our phrases. So we say, well, amanu bima. That's a phrase. Bima, and then anzalatu musaddiqan lima ma'akum. We'll make that the phrase. وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ. Make that the phrase. وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا. Make that the phrase. وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونِي. And we make that the last phrase. Read the phrases. Read the phrases, and then we're going to analyze the phrase and connect the phrases. Analyze and connect phrases as you read. Try to see the phrases. Try to see the phrases. See the context of the words within the phrase, and see the context from phrase to phrase. So the first phrase, وَآمِنُوا بِمَا أَنزَلْتُ مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا مَعَكُمْ, combining the first two. The particle where, this particle where here, we're going to learn a lot in this one. This is a good presentation here to go back and take a look at. So go back and take a look at this one in terms of the information that's going to be given. This is a good review verse here in what we're presenting. So this particle where functions, it functions. We know where is a conjunction. What is the function of this conjunction? We want to learn how we're looking at grammar a step above, how the grammatical rules, what are their functions? How is it functioning? This way, it functions as an atfu, al-atfu. That's the conjunction. Lit taratibi, and it is a conjunction of sequence. But here we're saying ma'a at-tarahi. It has a slightly delayed action. So we know when we use the conjunction fa, we have fa, wa, fa, and thumma. Wa, fa, and thumma. So when we use the wa in terms of time, the time element in the sequence, wa can suggest a delay in the time, meaning there may be some time in between the sequence of the two things occurring, or it can occur simultaneously, or one can happen right after the other. With wa, we don't know just by looking at it. Fa, in the sequence, there's no time in between. One thing happens, the other happens right away. In thumma, there's time between the two. Relatively speaking, there's time with thumma. So here he's telling us that with this wa, there is a delayed action. There's time. The S is delayed. It's not right away. Ma'at tarahi. Linking this command to the prior command, fulfill my covenant, as a next practical step. So let's go back and take a look. Ya Bani Israel, uzkuru, talabi. It's a request. Uzkuru. Then we go now, awfu, and fulfill. Ufi, I will fulfill. So he's saying this way, the way is connecting awfu, fulfill my covenant. Remember my favors upon you and fulfill my covenant. So this while goes back to connect with awfu. It connects with awfu. The verb aminu in the phrase is a bare command. Aminu is a bare command without an explicit object limitation. There is not an explicit object. Aminu be mad. Aminu be mad. There is no explicit object to this command verb, aminu, which is the case of el-ijaz. This term we should take a look at. We should know this term, el-ijaz. And you know, bil hadfi is dropped. It has been dropped for brevity. So el-ijaz is the brevity by dropping, by omission. It leaves the field of belief maximally open. Believe in whatever. And it leaves it open in terms of whatever. While following bima anzalatu. While the following bima anzalatu focuses it on new revelation. So aminu, or we could stop at aminu. Aminu, believe, have faith. Then we have bima anzalatu. Ma anzalatu. What I have set down in terms of a new revelation. There's new revelation coming. So keep in mind, in this theme, we're addressing the Bani Israel as though they may be seen as the first community. We have the idea of the first man, Adam, receiving revelations from Allah, being taught by Allah, not the first physical man on earth. The first man that's being taught by Allah. We see that in Adam. Then Adam has a wife in the thing. Those two. Now, we're going to look at the first community. The first community, not so much physically speaking, the first community of people who have received revelation in this first community. And in them receiving revelation, it's a continuation. It's all a continuation in receiving revelation and continue to progress as a community, as a humanity. This is the Bani Israel. We're coming in contact with the first group in this thing, the first community who received revelation, the first group of revelation. And this group in this motif is saying, Aminu, yes, accept faith, openly speaking, then, and what I have sent down, there's a new revelation coming to this group. This group representing humanity who have faith in Allah, who have received revelation and has faith in Allah. We can see it that way. Not just the Jewish group. Adam is just not an individual flesh and blood man. He represents the man in terms of receiving revelation. So here we have the group now. Try to focus in this manner. So the prepositional phrase, bima anzalatu, it precedes the participle musaddiqan. This bima precedes musaddiqan. And its phrase, forming a fronting, taqdeem, of what is haqquhu, it's of what is true sense of reality delayed. It delayed is delayed. A delay is delayed hakuhu for ihtimam, for emphasis. So this B-mad is takdim. The B-mad is a takdim. That's another term we should know by now from our presentations in the month. This takdim. And it's delayed here for emphasis. The musaddiqan, the act of belief, is being rhetorically anchored first and foremost in what Allah has sent down. What Allah has sent down now. So this be mad, this idea of be mad is coming before musaddiqan, that you would have faith in what he sent down now. Normally the speech would be anzalatu musaddiqan be mad. No. Aminu musaddiqan. Have faith. Aminu musaddiqan. Believe with confirmation, being confirmed in what I have said now. So the be mad comes before the musaddiqan. Having faith, and this is the how. I believe that's what it is. No. This is tricky. And zelatu musaddiqan be. And zelatu musaddiqan be. Meaning I sit down confirming be mad. Let's see how it goes. Musaddiqan liman ma'akum is a conditional accusative. How? Now we have to go back and see what is it a how to. Giving an al-qasru bihalin, a restriction of circumstance. Yes, it's to aminu. It's a restriction by circumstance, qasru bihal. The demanded belief is not random, but specifically in what confirms what they already hold. So this belief, it is belief confirming. Believe confirming. Believe is what confirms. Believe in confirming. Then it would be mad and zelatu. That would be the normal speech. Aminu musaddiqan mad and zelatu. With what I have sent down to what is with you. For what is with you. So this is the how in terms of the condition, in terms of belief. Have faith. The phrase lima ma'akum, what is with you, instead of li kutubi, kutubikum, li kutubikum, uses al ijazu ta'min. This is also ijaz. So we have the term kasru. We have that term. You know how, from your grammar, you know kasru is a restriction. It's restricted. That though you have faith, it's not random. It's not random, though there's not the object mentioned in the beginning, as we said, but it is a faith in what confirms. It's confirming. And it's confirming what they already hold, what you already have. This new revelation, as we continue, as humanity continues to progress, revelation is coming time and time again. So we have now ijaz, concise, brevity. Ta'meem is generalization, with generalization and generalization. It gathers Torah and gospel and their knowledge traditions all into one compact relational phrase. So we could take this as though Allah is addressing a community now, humanity now, going back to the first community, addressing them as this revelation, the Qur'an, will be understood. As this revelation, the new revelation is coming, is going back, addressing the first community who received revelation, and those who have come afterwards, all the way up to this point, we could say, to have faith. Yes, those of you, aminu, those of you who have faith or have faith, belief, from the first community who have received revelation until now, with the revelation of the Qur'an, and all of the knowledge traditions that you hold. What we're sending now, it confirms what we have sent from the first generation of believers, heightening the sense of personal responsibility. Those of you, of humanity, that is carrying out the first scripture given to humanity, has a personal responsibility. There's a personal responsibility on you to have faith in the new revelation, because you have what we will call the prior text of revelation, that if no one else understands, you should understand. Perhaps this group, this direct group of Arabs, don't have it. They are not carrying the books. They have lost it. It's not with them. They can't read. They don't have scripture. We're here. It's addressing that those communities that have knowledge, they have scripture, and they have been carrying it from the first generation, along with knowledge traditions. Then you are, really should be, the first who's confirming the new revelation because you have prior knowledge. And we're not just talking to a certain community. Historically, we're talking to all of mankind that fits into this category. وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ. Looking at this phrase now. The shift from direct verb command, aminu, to the negated now, la takunu. It takes a shift. The first is the command, aminu. Now we're going to shift to a prohibition, la takunu. Is a move from al-amru command to an-nahyu prohibition. Both within the insha'u at-talabi. We have this phrase again. Pardon me, this phrase again. So both command at amru, command at aminu, and prohibition, la takunu. And you all know the grammar. You know your grammar command, and you know your grammar prohibition, with this being the la or prohibition. Both of these type is called al-insha'u at-talabi, requestive speech. Requestive speech. This is the functioning. But with different psychological angles. One is the urge towards good, then block the opposite. One is commanding faith, commanding towards good, commanding faith, and the other one is denying disbelief. One is belief, and one is denying disbelief. Two psychological angles is being used in this verse of requestive speech. Using takunu plus predicate awala kafirin. So awala, we know, is the predicate of takunu. Takunu is kana conjugated in the present tense jussive. Awala kafirin is the predicate of takunu. So it's using both rather than a simple la takunu. We could have just said la takunu. La takunu kafiran. This employs at ta'lilu ad-dimni, implicit causal persuasion. This perhaps is a new phrase here. At ta'lilu ad-dimni. It suggests an extra ugliness in being the first to reject, not just rejecting. Being the first. So we're adding this awwala kafirin instead of just saying kafiran. And do not disbelieve. To add, to put a little ugliness that's added in the idea of being those who reject. And we're looking at, since Bani Israel, since this community that we're calling Bani Israel, since this first community, this first man is given the name Adam, first man of faith, first man that Allah has inspired. Then we have this first community of inspiration, the Bani Israel. So here we're seeing a play on the idea of first. So of all the people of the world, those of you who still carry records of the first revelation that has been written and preserved for all of humanity, and you are the first group that has been trusted with it, has been given revelation, has been trusted to share it with all of humanity, with all of its favors Allah has given, as we saw in the previous verse. All of the traditional knowledge, then you should not be the first. The first to reject. Awala kafirin is singular masculine in form. It's singular in form. While the addressees are plural. Aminu is plural. Takunu is plural. La takunu is plural. You plural. Then it switches. We see this a lot. We're going from the plural to the singular. Awala kafirin, instead of saying kafirina. It could be la takunu kafirina. They can be expressed that way. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَافِرِينَ. Do not be disbelievers. But it switches. It switches, adding awala, we saw, to have an applied persuasive effect. Then, now we're putting it in the singular. It's being put in the singular. And what's the function of putting it in the singular? Why have this type of speech? Now, if you take a look at translation and see if you can see how it switches like this. These are little things that get caught in the filter. When you're passing from Quranic Arabic to English translation, these little nuances that has impact in the reading, strong impact in the reading, you may be missed in the English because of the wording that we have in English. This you do not be, we don't know, it may not show up, it may show up in agreement with awala kafirin. It may show you do not be, or may do not be the first. But is it going to say the first believer? The translator might try to give the pronouns and verbs and pronouns in agreement, show them in agreement. Well, the English reader may become confused. Many of what we call the Orientalists, they become confused by these shifts. So they think it's just random speech. But here we're learning there's a function and a method for this type of speech. There's a reasoning for this type of speech to shift like this. Where you have the verb takunu in the plural, and it shifts, the predicate shifts to the singular. This is called shifting to the singular to magnify and typify. Iltifatu al-firdi, the shifting of the singular to al-jam'i, to the plural, li-tahwil, to magnify, typify. Each one, this is the effect and the function that is at the function and the fact that each one is as if he alone occupies the shameful position of the first disbeliever. Each individual, it has the feeling that he or she is that disbeliever instead of the group. So we have, and this is when we start talking about fiqh and law, we can extract a law from this now, could be extracted. We have the law or the idea that when takunu, when the plural, when the whole community is addressed, the whole humanity is addressed. Allah is addressing all of humanity through the representation of Bani Israel. So if a certain number, a certain group in terms of plural, have faith, and it's enough to advance the whole humanity, then no one of the whole humanity is not punished. But if no one, or if it's not enough, then the whole humanity is punished. If a large enough group accept the revelation, then all humanity becomes favored. If a certain amount does not accept the revelation, then the whole humanity is punished. And Allah can do away with the whole humanity and bring about a new one. Now, so that means every individual may not participate. But here in this language, look at this language now. Here, the whole humanity is being addressed, yet there's a switch now. Not a representative group, not W.E.B. Du Bois 10%. No, not just 10%. He put 10%, saying 10% could carry the rest, the 90%. Here it takes the shift. It is now given the idea that each individual in the group carries responsibility. It's addressing the group, and just a portion does not satisfy. It switches that awwala kafirin is given the idea that each one in the group, everyone is responsible. And it gives the feeling that if you are not responsible, then you, one person, will be punished, though everyone else upheld responsibility. It takes a shift and put it on the individual. Yes. That's the type of speech making strong and using first. All of this impactful in this expression. Now the pronoun in bihi goes back to ma and zelatu, with the pronoun advanced and the antecedent understood. The pronoun he goes back to ma. It goes back to ma. There's a subtle ellipsis of the referent due to its clarity. So this he goes back to the mat, and there's a understood of what the mat is without writing it. So the new revelation, mat, this is mat, and then anzelatu is describing the mat. So this mat is the new revelation has been made so central that it can be referred to pronominally. Pronominally. It could be used, a pronoun is used. And we could say that the Beni Israel, they know what it is. It's continuation of the revelation that they received the first time. Beni Israel as the representative group. The next phrase, وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا. The expression تَشْتَرُوا, 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 with بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا is a case of taswiru, pictorial metaphor. Taswir. This is a pictorial metaphor giving imagery. Imagery. In the domain of El-Ma'ani, we'll probably get to this tomorrow in terms of a pictorial metaphor. But here in the domain of El-Ma'ani, truth is pictured as a price paid away. And worldly benefits, or worldly benefit, as the cheap object gained. Notice how this phrase is being squeezed in here, dealing with people of the scripture, people of the book. Remember, we could instead of saying Bani Israel, we could say the people of scripture. And Bani Israel is representing the people of scripture. Let's go on. This is new. This is very important and a good lesson just in this phrase. The preposition be in the phrase. Yes, let me get it all. This preposition be. You are saying testaru be. Testaru be. The preposition be in be ayati, it indicates the signs. Ayati is signs, my signs. Be ayati, the signs of what they pay out. Now I can bring clarity to it from the translation. So signs is what you are paying out in the transaction. There's a transaction here. You are paying out signs. And what you're getting is some worldly benefit. And the worldly benefit is cheap. You're using the signs as your bargaining chip to gain or to purchase some worldly object. But it's not what they acquire. Signs is not what they acquire. Signs is what they are paying out. So it would not do not purchase my signs. No, that's not the translation. Do not purchase my signs like you're buying signs. No, you're using the signs as when you use the be. This be means you are paying, you are given the signs to purchase some benefit with the signs, which is kalbu muta'arifi. It's inverting the usual economic perspective for moral denunciation. So it's not, do not purchase my signs for a small price. No, that's not it. Do not use my signs as the medium of exchange to purchase some cheap object with my signs. In the bargaining, you could be selling the signs. I'm going to give you these signs for something cheap. You give me something cheap in return. The indefinite feminine qalilan, looking at the indefinite, combines at tankiru, indefinite, li tahkiri, with or for belittling, with the explicit adjective qalilan, to doubly minimize. It amplifies irrationality of the trade. Now this, many of the the exegetes, those who write the tafsirs, those who have written the tafsirs, have a discussion on this. If you can, go and look it up, or I will show you. They have the discussion about You using Allah's signs to get paid. I will teach you the signs. I'm going to give you the signs. I am going to teach the Qur'an. I am going to teach you the meaning of the signs. In return, you give me some money. Look to see what they are saying about it. You're not to, many of them says no. You're not to be paid. There's no transaction that has to take place. And if you don't pay, I'm not giving you the knowledge. I'm not going to share with you what Allah has blessed me with unless you pay me. There's a price. A feminine qalilin. A small price that you have to pay. Any price. Let's see, some areas. I think I missed it. Yes. They are spending what is priceless to obtain what is trivial. Yes. That's why I say, for me to be a teacher and you to be a student, you have to pay me. And I say, you can't afford me. You don't have enough money. You don't make enough money. I know you. You can't afford me. Because whatever price I set is trivial compared to what I am going to be giving. What I'm giving you is priceless. You can't put a price on it. If I put a price on Allah's revelation, then I have cheapened it. Therefore, you can't afford. You can't afford it. Yes, and I'm saying that. I'm agreeing with the school that says that. If you want to be a teacher in this, if you want to be a teacher, a Quranic teacher, find an income before you start. This is not a profession. Teaching the Quran is not a profession that you should have someone paying you because they don't have it. You can't charge someone to give them revelation. If they ask you, you can't say no. That's the law. I'm extracting from revelation. Now this is the law. You cannot teach Qur'an like I'm teaching Qur'an. You can't do it for pay. You can't say to someone, you have to pay me first, and then I will teach you the Qur'an. If they ask you, you can't say no. The only way that you can say no, if you already have obligated yourself to teach it here. If someone say, hey, Imam Salim, I want you to come and teach us tomorrow, I can say, no, I'm already obligated to teach the Quran tomorrow. You're welcome to come enjoy it. Enjoy join us. But if I'm not committed If I'm not committed, then I can't say no. That's the rule. And I've upheld that rule ever since I learned it back in the mid-'80s. I learned it from my first teacher. I learned it from him. You can't say no. Now, something may prohibit at my age now, health and certain things may prohibit, but I just can't outright say no. You can't say no. And you can't say, well, based upon such and such, such and such. That's why I'll say, okay, if you're sincere, many of you know this, if you're sincere, you invite me to teach, you want me to come to your place and teach, and you're saying, well, we can't afford airfare, hotel, then I say, well, I'll pay half, you pay half. I'll take care of the flight, you take care of the hotel. There's an expense. If you're sincere. If you're really sincere, okay, I'll just come. But if I come and you go to sleep, that's not good. If you come and you're really not interested, you want me to put on a show, that I don't do that. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not, and that's selling it cheap. I'm not going to take a lot of signings to entertain you. That's cheapening the signings. I'm going to educate you, not entertain you. Yes. Now, here's the other side of the law. If you feel you're learning and you feel you owe, you want to give something, then you can make donations. I don't follow you up with donations. This is the law. This is the law of Mali, at least. You make donations. Because sometimes when you receive something and you want to show appreciation and you feel you owe, I have to give something. I want to give something. Then make a donation to Mali. But here's the law now. Don't make such a big donation that you have to call me and ask me for a receipt. You can ask me, you can call and say, hey, did you get it? And I say, yes, I got it. Hey, I made a donation, and some people say, hey, Imam Salim, I made a donation. I just want to know if you received it. You know, we work with computers, PayPal, these things. You just want to know, did it go through? And I look it up and say, yes, it went through. I got it. That's it. But don't call and say, I didn't get a receipt for what I gave and where's my money. No, you don't give like that. I don't want to receive that. If you have to follow it up like that, it's best not send it. Go and give somewhere else. Now, and I'm saying to you, I use it for charity. I give it to someone in need. And we give a lot to the African people that I have found that live a much poorer life than we do, and that's where we're from. I use it also in the United States, where I find it could be used. I don't use it on myself. I don't take donations from Mali and pay my bills with it. It's always in a charitable situation. If you don't trust me, we're dealing with, this is all centered around Allah signs. This whole thing is centered around Allah signs. If you don't trust me, just don't send it. Keep it and still come to class. I'm not going to check to see if you sent a donation or not, and how I treat you in the class. It's not going to be based upon your donation. I'm going to drill you like I drill everyone else. I'm going to hold you accountable like I hold all the students accountable. Me holding you accountable is going to cause you to learn. And you're going to hold me accountable as a teacher. I'm not going to say, well, you don't pay me. Yes, if you ask me to do something that's way out, you might have to pay me. Go and research, Brother Imam, so then go and research the hadith and the authenticity of the hadith and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on, so, and then to prove what you're saying. Then I'm going to say, yeah. And what you going to be doing while I do all of this? It's a lot of work. And then you're going to sit back and say, okay, you're right. Well, then what research did you do to say I'm right? So not that trivial. That's trivial stuff. But when we're dealing with Allah's signs, this is what I'm speaking of, this transaction here. I'm not transacting Allah's signs for me to have a better material life. Allah blessed me with, I'm not a rich man, but He has blessed me with a material life that allows me to do this. So if you make donation, you make donation. If you see that I'm in need of something, then there's a way to give to that. That's how it goes. That's the law. If you don't want to be drilled, then come in as a guest. This is not a private, you don't belong to Mali. You're a group of students that come here regularly. So, but you're students. If you feel you don't want to be drilled, you don't want to go through it, just come in as a guest. We have many guests. In all of the class, we have guests. They just put guests in. I don't know who you are. I don't inquire who you are. Yes. And I'm not afraid to take this position. Before you get into this, you don't be an imam to get paid. I know you've heard it before. You don't do it to be paid. You're offering a service. But in offering this service, and the people are benefiting, they may make a donation. Not charging you. You don't charge people. You sell it. That's your bargaining chip. You're not to use the science as a bargaining chip for some material gain. Yes, and money is a material gain. And it's cheap. You've cheapened the science. And then, if you don't show up, then, and then have it where you have to even sign up and pay before you can learn. And we follow other people other people do it. They're not our teachers. Allah is our teacher. Now I'm speaking to the whole world. Allah is our teacher. But now there's one idea that if this is going to take me away from, let's say if I'm going to teach in a school 8 hours, and it's going to take me from my income, then I may take from that donation an income for myself, because it took me from making an income. Someone may say, no, but instead of you working, come and we will give you. But I can't charge you. And if you don't pay, I won't do it. No. So in Mali, go sign up, you get an email, and you come into class. There's no bargaining chip. The only bargaining chip is that you're going to be drilled. And if you don't want to be drilled, just say, I don't want to be drilled. When I call on you, some people say, I'm just listening. I say, okay. I just go on. I don't say, well, why are you just listening? No, you got to do. No. Now, some I push. I push you because you allow me to push you. Like now, I'm pushing. This is not a session just to lay back. I push a little bit. It's Ramadan. I push a little bit. Just to check to see if you're listening, paying attention. There's a lot in this lesson here. But to set up shop and go charging, no. No. You donate, you donate. We donate now to some people. Now I have found another group of poor people. I found a group of poor people in Mississippi. I saw it on TV. They're in Mississippi. And we know we have poor, homeless people, but a lot of them have places they can eat and get things. So I'm not just throwing it out, throwing money out. Some people don't have access to do things. And then, well, I saw some people in Mississippi, and they're in Arkansas, and they live in these communities. And when I saw the podcast about them, they remind me of the people in Africa. But they still live better than, they still live above. Their standard of living is above the standard of living of the people I saw in Africa. Now, the people in Africa, they don't like me talking like this, but I have to talk like this. But nevertheless, we want to set up some type of system that perhaps even if we can get to it this year, maybe we may not, to set up, I'm going to work with it, try to talk with the imam in Mississippi, if they can figure out a way to be a distribution center for these poor, they're near these poor communities in Mississippi. Now we know we're not trying to change their standard of living. We can give a little. That's how, when you give a little. We're not going to go broke giving, and they're not going to get rich receiving. That's how it goes. But we're going to give a little bit. Just give a little bit. Give what the religion requires. Do what the religion requires. And I'm saying always give a little bit. Don't give so much that you have to remind me that you gave. Don't follow up your donations with a reminder. Only in the sense of checking to see that I receive it. I send it to you in the mail. Nowadays, you get your own receipt that you did send it, a check or whatever. You can look to see. But I'm saying, don't do it where you have to be. Oh, I gave my last, and you're feeling hurt. If you're feeling hurt, I'm gonna give it back to you. If you feel like, hey, if I get a phone call, hey man, I just give it back to you. No bad feelings, just give it back. And this is how we're talking in this realm of Allah's signs that go, and within His signs are these lessons. Yes. And if you feel like I can learn and don't have to pay, fine. And then teach someone else and don't receive payment. If you learn in Mali and you didn't have to pay, then teach someone else and they don't have to pay. Don't come and learn in Mali and take what you're given here and then go take it and set up shop and make money on it. No, you're not allowed to do that. You can't take these 5 sheets and go make money on it. And you can't take 5 sheets and give it to the university and they make money on it. No, it's copyright. So that won't happen. This is how it goes. This is what Allah is saying here. Spending what is priceless to obtain what is trivial. Yes. And a few times, Imam said, we would like to have a meeting with you. Trying to set up a way to put a price on it. No, that's okay. We don't. I don't negotiate. Just let me go to the P.O. box and find a check. Yes. Now I'm messing with somebody. Well, that's the way it goes. Allah's messing with you. Find a way. Find a way. If you really want to be into this, find a way. There's a way to have an income. Have an income so you don't have to do it. Yes. So in Mississippi, we want to set up a situation. Perhaps I'll talk with an imam, not putting anybody on First Street, to see how it could be done. That we can at least, maybe, if we don't do it this year, next year, during the Ramadan, there's a way we can give to find people we can give to. It's charity. We're not where we can't do this. We can't take some foods or take something and then put up an announcement and say, come and drive by and get it. Not like that. If you can drive to get it, maybe you don't really need it. If you can drive to get the food, drive by, do a drive-through, maybe you really don't need it. Maybe it's not that bad. But if there are people who can't drive by, those we want to go find them. We have to set it up. If they have one truck in their community, they can come pick it up and deliver it to them, fine. But not when we're going to be lazy. Find a way we can give to these groups, like we do in Africa. I saw them, and I know there are other rural areas. We start with one rural area. We get a system set up with one rural area where they're living out in the very rural. It's very rural. You know what I'm talking about. Then we give to that community. But we're just like people give to us. They come and bring meats to us. And many of us don't need it. Some of us just take it to cut our bill down. I'm not talking about that. But even then, we could take what they're giving and have a way to distribute. We have to find a way we can slaughter and distribute in these areas. It has to be slaughtered and distributed. Or some way we can make sure that they are having meals during the month of Ramadan. We can do that. So we can have a system going. We have a system that's building. We had a nice system before the chief passed away, but we still have it. We still have it going, and we're going to expand our system. In Ghana, we have a relationship going there. We can't change everything, but we do a little. We're giving, and we want to do the same here in America. Let's start with a place, then a second place, and the more Muslims we can have that would join in with this, the more we could do here in America and in Africa. If you trust us. If you don't trust what we're doing, you don't trust me with this, don't do it. Just don't do it. If you're suspicious, have doubt, just don't do it. So this indefinite thamanan qalilan combines. It combines indefiniteness for belittling. with the explicit adjective qalilan, to double minimize the whole idea of using Allah's signs as a bargaining chip to regain some worldly benefit. وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونِ, the object pronoun phrase إِيَّايَ. إِيَّايَ is fronted. We had this yesterday, or last 2 days. Is fronted before the verb فَاتَّقُونِ, which is a canonical example of taqdeem. We have taqdeem again. Taqdeem al-maf'uli li-kasri. Fronting the object is fronting the object to create restriction. So it's fronting of the object. El-kasru bit-taqdeem, restriction by fronting. That's the idea. That's the one you want to remember. Restriction by fronting. Normally, you would say fattaku, and then you have ni. Fattaku ni. Then be conscious of me. But instead, you're going to say fattak, yeah, only me. This is the object. The pronoun is the object. We're going to bring the pronoun forward. That's the fronting. You bring the pronoun forward now to give the idea of me and no one else when we bring it forward, that you must be conscious of. Then, let's see if he's going to mention it. Yes, we're going to mention it. So that's why iyaya. As we have mentioned, iyaka na'budu. Iyaka na'budu. Only you do we worship. Instead of saying na'budu ka. That's the function. The use of taqwa rather than ukhshuni. We're using taqwa instead of ukhshu. Adds the shade of istimraru al-hal. This is perhaps a new phrase. Istimraru al-hal, meaning continuity of state. Instead of saying, now this is the wording. This is al-ma'ani of how certain words are chosen instead of others. So instead of using the word khushu for consciousness or fear or what have you, the word taqwa is used. It is not a single moment of fear, but an ongoing guardedness in relation to Allah. It's ongoing guardedness. So it's not just a moment. Ukhshuni. And then we had farahabuni, which may show these moments in the context. But this taqwa, it gives the idea of its ongoing. The soul, in the soul, it has in it. It has in it the taqwa, and it has in it fujur. Taqwa is more than what we may gain from the English idea of conscience. Taqwa is a consciousness, but that consciousness has in it caution, fear or caution, because you have this element of fujur, the potential for enlightenment, to gain enlightenment. And that fujur, as you begin to become enlightened and pursue in many, let's say the material world, this intellect. Remember, we're going back to that intellect, that khalifa. Now that when the sun comes up and that khalifa, that intellect, that atom, that inspired intellect is going to now engage the material world. Get down from here. Get down into the material world. Take your intellect, you go down in the material world. That's where you are to find a place. That's where you're to settle your intellect. That's where you are to get all the benefits. In doing so, there's also harm. And all the benefits that this intellect is going to encounter. You have also the element of taqwa, to be cautious of that, because within all the benefits there's a harm. And Allah has placed it there. This is the creation of Allah. So He has given you, yes, I've given you the potential for enlightenment, the potential for receiving all these great benefits that I have created for you, yet I have also given you taqwa in the soul. Use that taqwa. Use that taqwa that I have given you to go along with that fujur, in order that you may protect your soul from injury and harm. Fire is a great benefit for man. It has been a companion of man for ages and brought great benefit for man to advance civilizations on top of civilizations. But yet, you have to have taqwa when approaching the fire. It's that kind of consciousness. Not just being aware. It's not just simply being aware or being conscious of Allah like I know Allah. Not that type of consciousness. Yes. You have this intellect and it's curious, but yet cautious. The attached Noon Wikaya, and this is the Noon Wikaya. Let's see what it is going to show you here. The attached Noon Wikaya in Fatakuni. This Noon here is called the Noon Wikaya. We had this also, let's repeat, and it's in the grammar. This Noon, and this Noon is placed between the verb and the pronoun. This kasra here represents the pronoun. Normally the pronoun would be this ya, like you have this ya here. This ya is the pronoun for me. The pronoun me. Then fear me. Here, the ya is dropped when we say fatakuni. The ya is dropped. The shorter the speech, the stronger the speech. So this ya is dropped to me, and it's not extended to anyone else. So it's making it strong. Yeah, only me. This is the ya. That's the pronoun. Yeah, and then you have ya. Only me. You said it once. You said it once, only me, and then we're going to say it again, me again. Fatakuni, but it's not fatakuni. This is towards me and me only. Making it strong. Already makes the object explicit. We get it. When you said yeah, yeah. But this we may get in the science of Badi. The knee here, it provides a rhythmic and emphatic closure, an instant of attention to the rhyme ending, to fix the meaning in mind. So here we're using the rhyme is bringing about a rhyme that also emphasize the meaning. That's what's happening here. The beauty, the eloquence of this Quranic verse is shown here. So taken together, the verse layers amru, command, and nahyu, prohibition, el-qasru, restriction, and at-tankiru li-tahkir, indefiniteness for belittling. To move Bani Israel, not so much the Jews in the physical sense, to move Bani Israel, the first generation of the Khalifa, the first generation of Khalifa, we could say, from a position of reluctant possessors of earlier scripture to responsive believers in a confirming revelation. Of all people, you should be the first to embrace the new revelation. With their social leadership and moral trading habits directly targeted at the level of sentence structure. All of this impact in one phrase, in one verse. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Now, the reflection on this, that we will be publishing a reflection and comment on the first 30th of the Qur'an. And I will do every verse, a reflection and comment on every verse of the Qur'an. Be calm. Aminu. Be calm and at peace within your soul. Free from apprehension regarding what we have sent down from a high spiritual place. Ontologically speaking, it comes down. This speech, which we have now defined as let's go back. You can maybe see what we're doing here. Requestive and informative. But this is more or less requestive speech. And maybe I will put it in. Requestive. This requestive speech contributes to truthfulness and confirms what already exists among you. So let's put it in here. We make changes as we're reviewing this. That's really requestive. I'll leave it at this. We'll make it. This requestive speech contributes to truthfulness and confirms what already exists among you. Do not be the first to consciously hide it, nor engage in transactions involving my signs for a trivial price. Let's say as a trivial price. Maybe that's better. To me and only to me, you should look to preserve and protect your soul from harm and injury. So let's use conscious. Instead of look, you should be conscious. You should be conscious to preserve and protect your soul from harm and injury. Yes, we'll see what you all think of that. The Qur'an is not simply, in the commentary here, an imitation of the sounds. It is not simply an imitation of the sounds of oral recitation or a mere textual artifact. It is a living, ever active force that conveys profound inner meanings. Each verse not only directs attention outward, but also encourages introspection, revealing layered spiritual realities. This message should not be accepted dogmatically, but must be realized and acted upon in one's life, reflecting the inner truth already inscribed in the soul. It's already with you. The infinite spiritual significance of divine speech should not be reduced to a commodity for worldly gain, political influence, or cultural status. Instead, its purpose is to guide people back to their original nature, their original, primordial nature, and to rejuvenate family and community bonds at every level. Divine revelation aims to foster new life, both spiritually and collectively, mirroring the natural stages of creation and the development of community. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And that concludes our presentation for today. Assalamu alaikum wa Ramadan Mubarak.